What is going on? My name is Jim Games and I react to videos on the internet, and in today's video I'm going to be reacting to YG Entertainment, the Rise and Fall and Rise Again documentary. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are you reacting to YG Entertainment or YG? Well, there's a couple reasons. For one, I've been kind of on this crazy K-pop rabbit hole where I'm trying to figure out what makes this whole thing work and why is it so popular and who are the people behind all these K-pop artists. And I've been kind of doing a deep dive and learning about them and sharing my reactions with you guys. So by doing this, I stumbled across this band called Blackpink. They put out some phenomenal music. They're very talented artists, but when I got around to really learning about Blackpink, I found out that they are run by this management company, YG Entertainment. And when I learned a little bit more about YG Entertainment and what they do with Blackpink, I got very angry. Very angry. I gotta apologize if you've seen that reaction. It came out a couple days ago. It was a reaction to who is Blackpink and the story of them, and obviously YG Entertainment came up. And I got so angry because I truly believe YG, if that is his name, or if it's just the entertainment company, or whatever this guy's name is, he is truly stifling his artist. So I'm not going to go into the full breakdown because I tore this guy apart for about 20 minutes on that video, but my main gripe here is that he will not let these artists create full albums, or at least Blackpink. He's just letting them do these like drip singles, you know, periodically putting them on YouTube to get as many views and likes and downloads as possible. Now, this is great for creating revenue. This is great for creating buzz. In fact, this is why a lot of your favorite artists, they release 1, 2, possibly 3 singles before the album even drops. But with Blackpink, we get no album. We don't get it. We just get continuous singles. So I don't know. I get a huge problem with that. It hurts us as the us as the fans, because we're not able to get a long-form artistic art piece from these artists, which I believe is detrimental to the success and long-term success of any artist, is by having an album to fall back on. You can have as many great albums or singles as you want, but when they're all discombobulated, kind of like that they are. I know some of them do have themes and they have storyline arcs and whatnot, but when you have just a bunch of singles and it's not a cohesive album and there's not like one major message or soundscape or something behind it, us as fans, we lose out. We lose out 100% on that. And then more importantly, them as artists, they're losing out even more, because artists like that just release singles after singles, they're not going to last the test of time. Unfortunately, that's the case. You really want to have these long format art pieces to connect with people. Otherwise, you're just connecting with a 3-minute song, and in today's society, it's in one ear and it's out the other. It's just the sad fact of the way it is. But if you have a long form art piece like an album, your chances of connecting and growing with that artist and appreciating that artist are they skyrocket. So that's one of my main gripes behind them. YG seems to control these girls, everything to their hairstyles, their dance moves, possibly lyrics and production of music and whatnot, and how they release music. So I've got a big problem with that. And I wanted to learn more about YG, who this guy is, why he has so much control, how he got to where he got, and what the issue is. Because by posting this reaction that I did, guys, I got a lot of hate from you guys, but I got even a lot more people saying, hey, you know what? You're absolutely right. This is bullshit what this guy is doing. And we don't even like YG. It's like, it's a pain, you know? So we're going to react to YG here. We're going to see where he came from, and I want to see how he got so big and why he might possibly have so much control over these artists, and if there's any sort of theory behind it. You know, I want to see if we can figure out why he does what he does. Is it just to get those numbers up, or is there some sort of artistic integrity in all of this? I don't know, but we're about to find out. If you're new around here, please consider liking and subscribing. I do this sort of thing all the time. It'd mean a lot to me. It would help the channel, so please consider liking and subscribing. Also, a couple quick important links you got to check out down below, guys. My community Discord thing is popping off, a group of awesome people in there, always floating music back and forth, having some great conversations offline. And if you want to have an idea of where this channel is going in the future, Discord is the best way to do it. And then I also have my personal Twitch link. I do live reactions, guys. Every Wednesday we do a live reaction show, and it's a blast. So if you want to be a part of that, float me some music over there, come and check it out. Both those links are down below. All right, let's check it out. Let's switch screens and let's see if we can figure out who this YG guy is and what his deal is with Blackpink and why he's stifling them. Why you siphon Blackpink? Let's check it out. Oh, I had to start right here, too, because he had an advertisement on this thing for Rosetta Stone.
Rewind to 1995. Yes, I know, some of you weren't born yet, and that's scary. That is when Yang Hyun-suk was a part of Sechs Kies and Boys. You couldn't really have called them a K-pop group at the time because that term really didn't exist. They were more of a hip-hop group that brought the genre to Korea. They were extremely popular back then, and when they disbanded in 1995, a lot of people were upset.
Oh my God.
That gave a young Yang Hyun-suk an opportunity
chaos
to
out
do
there.
his own thing. His own thing was creating his own label, YG Entertainment, in 1996.
All right, so what's his name? Young Dong something or other? All right, so it's not even YG. That's not his name. It's Young Dong something or other.
Now, I think most of you don't know YG Entertainment's first group. I'll give you some time to guess. No, you're wrong. It's Keep Six. You probably haven't heard of Keep Six, but they were a hip-hop trio that was the first kind of group to debut out of YG Entertainment the same year they were established. They did kind of okay, but not good enough to keep the company afloat. And that's when Yang Hyun-suk, YG himself, came out of retirement to help the company a little bit by promoting as a solo artist. But it wasn't until 1997 where YG Entertainment would see a surge of success in a new group, or should I say duo. Jin Sean was a hip-hop duo of Sean and Jin, which kind of makes sense. They were pretty much trailblazers and innovators for hip-hop in Korea. And with that success, YG Entertainment was able to put the money into debuting another group. This was their first kind of K-pop group, although it was still kind of hip-hop centered. That group was One Time. One Time was getting a bunch of fans, and I mean a lot of fans. But the groups that came out of YG Entertainment now, I think a lot of people would say that YG Entertainment is more influenced by American hip-hop and rap, and you could still say the same thing today, 25 years later.
Oh,
but
really?
like I said, Jin Sean at one time influenced a lot of young people to get into music, and especially rap. One of those people was a 13-year-old rapper going by his name Kwon Ji-young. He was known as being the rapper in the group Little Rhoda. That is until he joined YG Entertainment in 2001. Now, why didn't I call him by his stage name? Because he didn't come up with his stage name until later. Kwon Ji-young called himself G-Dragon when Big Bang was about to debut. But now I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Cool name.
Let's go back. Now, YG Entertainment didn't really have a superstar on their hands until 2003 with the solo artist Seven. Now, Seven was incredibly popular in Korea, enough so that YG Entertainment set him to be successful in other countries, like Japan and even America. Seven was the first YG Entertainment artist to kind of make a push into the American market to see if really there was a place for K-pop or Asian artists. Turns out there wasn't yet. Now, this is when YG Entertainment was about to take off. In 2006, from her survival show, YG Entertainment was ready to debut their first real K-pop group. Sure, Big Bang is iconic now, but at the time when they were rookies, it was a slow start. But they continued to put in the time, continued promoting, continued releasing new songs, and eventually, they had their breakout year. With Big Bang finally having a place in K-pop and Korean music, YG Entertainment went back to creating a new group. This time, it was different. 21 debuted in 2009, and
You know what I'm noticing here is all these names, like there's a theme to them. They're all spelt wrong, or they have like numbers in them or something. Like look at this. This is 21. It's 2NE1. Out of all the artists I've seen so far that he's put on this label, they all kind of have like that little thing to their name. So it's kind of funny to see Blackpink not have it.
with the help of Big Bang, they were pretty popular at debut. Now, I know a lot of people are critical about YG Entertainment, but what they did with 21 was genius. Girl groups in K-pop were kinda new, with Girls' Generation kind of promoting at the same time. That's why YG Entertainment wanted to create 21, a 4-member girl group that wasn't cute, that wasn't innocent, but was tough and charismatic. But they also had their soft side. And that, I think, is what made 21 so incredible as a group that a lot of people love them still today. I mean,
yeah, 21 sounds pretty cool. I'd be interested in checking out some music from the band 21. I dig their style, just kind of the look, and if they have like this kind of contrast between darker and lighter styles of lyrics and I guess emotions, I definitely would be interested in checking that out. So I gotta remind myself, 21 has got to be put on my list.
I mean, how could you forget? They set a trend that you could see today in new debuting girl groups in 2020.
Oh, yeah?
With major home runs in new groups and promoting the older ones, YG Entertainment was making bank. They were making a bunch of money. And so they started construction on the most infamous K-pop company building, ever known. YG artists and employees moved into the iconic YG building, which the land alone cost $2.5 million, with the total after construction worth $8.5 million.
Yes.
And just recently, they built a brand new, better, bigger building right next door, which they're planning to move into by the end of the year. While YG Entertainment...
The building looks futuristic. We don't have buildings like that here in America. Everything is like so rounded. The side of this building looks like Braille. It's like random holes in it.
Entertainment was known for creating awesome groups. They also had sights on existing artists. One of those artists was the solo singer Psy. Psy signed with YG Entertainment in 2010.
Oh, I know this guy.
He made his name known by being unique. You know Psy. He's very...
Yeah, I know him.
Having a hilarious personality and of course being friends with Yang Hyun-suk, Psy was a great fit for the company, bringing in a whole new personality that no one really had in YG Entertainment. The signing of Psy was a brilliant move that no one really saw yet, until 2012. Psy released the song Gangnam Style, and you know the story. It went insanely viral.
Yeah.
He got recognized all over the world. Everyone was doing the dance. He got invited on tons of TV shows, and that helped YG Entertainment big time. For that year, Psy was responsible for 50% of the revenue YG Entertainment made that whole year. This song was a major key for YG Entertainment to break more barriers.
Yeah, so at this point, I mean, YG is huge. You know, they've got a couple like distinguished K-pop kind of acts on their roster already. Some of them are making money, some of them, you know, probably breaking even or not making money. But then you get the Gangnam Style, you know, and that probably just skyrockets profits. They already just sunk $8 million into a building, and then bought another building. So, I mean, it is a huge production, you know, it is a massive production what he's doing. And I kind of want to play devil's advocate, even with my own thoughts and theories on my original video with ripping YG apart here, because there's got to be a good amount of, you know, talent and know-how to go into this sort of thing. And it sounds like YG was part of this group itself, and he may have even just come on to the YG Entertainment family as himself, as a solo entertainer, to bring some sort of clout to it. So I think that's what they were saying in this video, that he was some sort of performer himself at some point. So at least he has like a real world first-hand experience with doing this. And he's not just some sort of like, you know, rich banker guy just kind of calling the shots. So, I mean, that gives me a little bit more hope. I'm still kind of pissed off with what he does in some of his practices, but that gives me a little bit more of a sigh of relief in trusting the guy, I guess, but still.
Then YG Entertainment went ahead and signed Tableau and his group Epic High. Epic High was a hip-hop group kind of going back to the roots of YG Entertainment. They already had a following in Korea and had major hits that inspired new generation K-pop artists, like BTS's Suga. Coming from Willem Entertainment, Epic High was looking for a new home, and YG Entertainment was there. It came at a good time because it revitalized Epic High's career and especially Tableau's career after the Stanford scandal. Long story short, a lot of Korean netizens thought that Tableau couldn't have gotten the master's degree he got in Stanford because of the timing. Tableau initially brushed it off until it actually became a newsworthy story. It's a weird story, but it happened. Now we're going into the modern age of YG Entertainment in 2012 and 2013 because Yang Hyun-suk was participating as the judge in K-pop shows like K-Pop Star, where YG signed winners and runner-ups Lee-hi and Akdong Musician. Lee-hi was a young girl with a very soulful and belty voice, a really one-of-a-kind artist. And Akdong Musician was a sibling pair that was great at acoustic vocals, songwriting. They were the whole package.
Oh, wow.
Then in 2013, YG Entertainment went ahead and started their own survival show. This was Win Who Is Next, and they were ready to find and debut the next boy group after Big Bang. As the show went, it had Team A and Team B go against each other when Team A debuted, and they were called Winner.
Okay, so that's the thing, guys. This is the thing. This is the problem with K-pop and this music and how these things are done. Now, it's great when you have television shows like, you know, like we have here, like a, you know, America's Got Talent, and they have them over. They're all over the place. We all have these singing shows and everything. But what they're trying to do here is like they're trying to basically put shelf lives on these artists, and that sucks, man. That's not good, because Like they were just saying right here, they're like, okay, well, who's going to be the next boy band? And then who's going to be the boy band after that? And who's going to be the boy band after that? And I understand like a lot of these artists might have shelf lives just on their own. But giving people that hurdle to go over on top of everything else they have to go over by saying, okay, well, you're going to have your chance for a couple years. And then if you're not selling as much, we're just going to move on to the next one and the next one and the next one and just keep going up and keep creating the same formula until we get a group of people that just sticks and makes us the most amount of money. That's what's glorified here. You know, what's even in this video, what's being glorified is the amount of money he's spending and how popular his company is getting. When in reality, like, the money's great, obviously, you know, I'm assuming. I don't have millions of dollars, but like, what should be great is the artistic integrity. What should be great is falling in love with the musicians themselves, you know, because they're their words. They're their chords, they're their melodies. They put that stuff out. It's them that's doing it, not a building full of guys trying to make the perfect storm of music for you. You know, I mean, that could be awesome if it's just the music, but I mean, this is all wrapped up into like they're picking the hairstyles, the outfits, what they do, what they say. You know, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. And by basically saying they have to have a shelf life by what's the next one, what's the next thing, constantly looking for the next, that's good and refreshing, but you're basically just manufacturing these bands, giving them a couple years shelf life, kicking them off, and then doing it over and over again and just making a buttload of cash. That's great for you, man. But it's not for the fans and it's not for the artist.
Winner debuted in 2014 and were the definition and probably the first group to be called Monster Rookies. I mean, they broke insane records in their first year, becoming the group with the fastest music show win in only 6 days after debuting. In 2015, YG Entertainment branched out to have sub-labels, the Black Label and High Ground. Those labels would debut and find and promote artists like the indie band Hyoko, solo R&B artist Zion T, and former JYP Entertainment trainee, IOI member, and now solo artist Somi. It's awesome to see YG Entertainment fund sub-labels, promote artists that wouldn't necessarily get the attention somewhere else. And most notably, the future of YG Entertainment was given his own label in the Black Label. If you don't know, producer Teddy is YG Entertainment's lead producer that produces a lot of your favorite YG artist songs. Go look up some of the songs he produced. You would be amazed. Later in 2015, YG Entertainment really wanted Team B from Win Who's Next to debut. That's why they created another survival show, Mix and Match. That is where we learned and grew to love YG's new boy group, iKon. iKon was more rebellious, more hip-hop centered. They too were very successful when they debuted. Going into 2016, YG Entertainment made another move like they did with Psy. They signed the first generation K-pop group known as Sechs Kies. They remain as one of the oldest K-pop groups that are still active today. Also in 2016, the company wanted to debut a new girl group. This was the first after 21, and a lot of people were curious. The hype was higher than I saw for any other group that was debuting in YG, and a lot of people were correct to be excited about who they were, because they were about to crash land in your area.
Blackpink in your area?
Blackpink was all anyone could ever talk about. Blackpink's appeal was seen from day one. They were more girl crush, and they appealed to a wider audience than just Korean listeners. That is why they're one of the most searched K-pop groups, not just girl groups, in the world. Then in 2018, YG Entertainment tried their hands at another survival show. This one was different though. YG took a tour at other K-pop companies to see how their trainees were. He wanted to debut a new group from different companies that would be promoted by YG Entertainment. That sounded like a brilliant idea. YG Entertainment's name holds a lot of weight in Korea. This show was called Mix 9, where a bunch of trainees from different companies showed up to try to debut. It was gonna be one girl group versus one boy group. As we know, that show kinda didn't go as planned, with the winnings team debut being cancelled. But what's amazing is we got to see a lot of future K-pop stars appear on the show, like Ryujin from ITZY, Luna's Heejin and Hyunjin, and ATEEZ. Well, I guess it wasn't all bad. In the same year, Psy decided it was time for him to move on from YG Entertainment. He left and set up his own label called P Nation. P Nation is like a haven for K-pop idols that need a second chance. It's true, take a look at some of the artists P Nation signed. They signed Hyuna and Dawn from Cube Entertainment, rapper Jessie, R&B singer Crush, And just this year, singer, songwriter, and R&B singer Hayes Psy was using his connections to build a pretty amazing brand new label. Like, it's still a new label, and look at the artists they have. Then with the appeal that I mentioned about Blackpink being a more international group, they made the move into America. This was only YG Entertainment's kind of second move into America, after I mentioned 7 years ago. But Blackpink was a different animal.
I am joined by the members of one of the hottest groups in music today, K-pop sensations, Blackpink.
Blackpink was all over America, late night TV shows and performances, interviews, and of course, Coachella. Blackpink was the surprise of Coachella by non-K-pop fans. They put on a spectacular show and had everybody asking, wait, who are they? This of course was topped off with the In Your Area tour, Blackpink's world tour, and it went extremely well. It was one of the biggest K-pop tours by a Korean act in America, behind BTS. To this point in YG's history, they were known for kind of not promoting their groups or artists as much as they could, and they got criticized for that by fans and everybody else. But
yeah. Yeah, that's another big one. That's another big one here. When you have, you know, your fingers in that many things, and you're basically your goal is not like the goals of other companies like Big Hit. Just gonna throw that name out there. A company that I deeply respect. It sucks. It sucks the life out of your artist, and it's bad for the fans. And it's great when you're putting a lot of production and money up front for, you know, these artists to like promote them and whatever. But giving them these shelf lives and making them just drop singles randomly to get as much money as possible is great for a short-sighted thing. But I understand it. I understand it from this YG guy's point of view, because in his point of view, the main goal is just to basically build this company up, get it bigger and bigger, make as much money as possible, such as the goals of most companies. However, by doing this, you are creating pre-packaged artists, and like you're tarnishing their image is what you're doing. You're destroying their image. While yes, you were promoting them and putting them in front of a much wider audience that they probably could have done on their own, you're still giving them that shelf life. You're giving them so much direction, not direction, you're telling them to do. You're telling them what to do exactly. That you're creating carbon copies and throwaway artists. He knows what he's doing, and it's bad for the whole industry. I think this mindset and this way of doing music is just completely bad for the whole industry across anybody. So it's not just YG doing this. I'm assuming it's a ton of these K-pop companies out there doing it. I'm just coming off of learning about Big Hit Entertainment and about their mission statements and about, you know, what they did with BTS and how that they they wanted to create this like actual humble, real artistic experience with people. Like, that's how you do it, guys. That's the way to do it. But this is the short-sighted way of doing it. I don't know. I'm not going to go off this rant because I'm starting to get angry again. Starting to get angry.
It would have gotten worse. This is when the Burning Sun scandal started to explode.
What's that?
This would lead to Seung-ni from Big Bang retiring from the group and entertainment as a whole. He was investigated but not convicted of anything. This also led into Yang Hyun-suk, the founder of YG, being investigated with also no evidence to convict. Yang Hyun-suk was then brought back for investigations about him gambling overseas, which he pleaded guilty to. I would go over it in more detail, but I feel like that story is definitely well covered. The bad news wouldn't end for YG Entertainment, as BI from iKon decided to leave the group and the company after a drug scandal. With only rumors and accusations happening, BI wasn't convicted of anything, and yet his potential as YG's lead producer, or even bigger as YG's CEO, was gone. As YG Entertainment was in a downward spiral, this led to the step down of the lead positions. Yang Han-suk's brother, Yang Min-suk, stepped down as CEO of the company, and Yang Han-suk himself also stepped down from his leadership position, leading to the hiring of a new CEO. But the damage was done not only to the reputation of the company in the Korean public's eye, but also to their pockets. YG Entertainment was struggling to pay back investments and stock investments. It did not look good for the company, and the future was very questionable. And with Big Bang members going to the military and not being able to promote together, CL also left YG Entertainment. It seemed like everyone was jumping the ship before it eventually sank. Fast forward to the end of 2019, going into 2020, Big Bang was planning a big group comeback at Coachella, the same place where Blackpink performed, as the active members returned from the military. But that comeback was canceled as Coachella was canceled. Coachella was canceled early in the year because of concerns over the sickness that spread around the world. Then some rumors and articles came out about YG Entertainment planning a new girl group with the name Baby Monsters floating around. They plan to debut in the second half of 2020 and are more of a younger group, so it will be very interesting to see what this group turns out to be later. Growing pretty
If they have the opportunity to later. YG's gonna suck these girls dry, man. He's gonna create them. He's gonna get as much money as he can from them, and then he's gonna be looking for the next pretty face is all he's doing.
quiet in 2020 with just rumors and news
so
and
obvious.
cancellations and people leaving the company. There wasn't really much to be excited about for YG Entertainment. That was until Blackpink came back.
How you like that?
How You Like That was a hit, with a full album on its way out soon and collabs with huge Western artists. The anticipation for Blackpink's comeback was so huge that they broke Guinness World Records for the amount of views in the first 24 hours of a music video on YouTube. And on track to do it again with the new release, Lovesick Girl. I mean, Blackpink are unstoppable, man. Blackpink was the saving grace of YG Entertainment. Everybody knew this, and so did YG. But there was another group to help pull YG Entertainment back into the spotlight. That group was Treasure. Treasure debuted from another YG Survivor show, YG's Treasure Box, after 2 years in the making. Treasure debuted with Boy in 2020 and are slowly growing in popularity. YG Entertainment definitely got back on their feet and started sprinting, with Treasure and Blackpink leading the way. An explosion in sales led to profit rising and stock rising for the company. Sure, YG Entertainment hasn't been seen in the best light by Koreans and international K-pop fans alike because of the controversies and scandals, and maybe with new management and new groups, YG Entertainment can refresh their
I don't even know what the
image. But you
controversies
can't
or
deny
scandals.
that they have found, developed, and debuted the most iconic artists and groups in K-pop ever. From the very beginning through the past 25 years, you are always excited to see what comes out next from YG Entertainment.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't even know all the scandals. You know, he kind of briefly he went over them a little bit for some of them, some drug scandals with some other guys and everything. But yeah, for the most part, like I don't even know what the scandals are. I know some people are very passionately against this guy. I have my reasons, and I feel like this is just not the way. This is not a good idea. It's not the way. I feel like in today's day in society, you know, with YouTube at everybody's fingerprint, with everybody's fingers, you know, SoundCloud and things like that, now is the time for young artists to get together, create music, release it on their own, and then build a brand themselves, not have some other brand come in and try and build you. It takes away from the artistic integrity, and it also slows things down a little bit too, because you can't move as fast as, like, let's say an artist like Blackpink, it explodes overnight. You know, it slows you down because you have to learn how to do everything. You have to learn how to be in that moment and master that specific technique, whether it be dancing, whether it be singing or learning an instrument, or how you sound live versus in the studio. All these things take time and trial and error. And when you have a big company come and pick you up and make you practice for years and stuff like that, there are definitely some pros to the whole scenario. One, you're going to basically put your artists that have a good amount of talent with other people that have an incredible amount of talent, and they can try and teach them and speed the process up a little bit and maybe cut some corners here and there. You're going to be able to pair them with some of the best producers and make them sound the absolute best that they can. The same thing with stylists and choreographers. I think that's what they're called. All this stuff, like, there are definitely pros and cons to it, but the main con that I'm getting that I think outweighs all of these pros, and that includes even that promotion to put them on that stage, puts them on MTV, puts them on the radio. It's the fact that you're creating throwaway artists. And man, I already know this video is going to get a ton of downvotes. I knew it after I did the last one I did, but I'm still doing this one because I'm very convinced that I think this is the wrong way to do it. But apparently this is just how it's done in Korea. It's been like this forever. But I feel like some kind of major change needs to happen. And I feel like it can happen. especially with so many people and so many artists like K-pop groups and stuff like that everywhere. It seems like the market is almost even kind of flooded with these artists. So why not be an underground K-pop artist and start to claw your way up from the top or from the bottom? You know, it'll help you in the long run. It'll make you seem more authentic. I don't know. It irks me. It gets under my skin, but it's not just Korea and it's not just K-pop, because the same thing happens in all genres of music, in all walks of life. I just wish it was different, you know, and it can be different. It's just going to take time and a willing to change. But a lot of times you're chasing that check, you know, you're chasing that money. And I think YG is no different. You know, he's definitely chasing that money, and why shouldn't he? You know, it's his company and whatnot, but just let the girls in Blackpink create an album. This guy said that they're creating a new album, but this video posted October 2nd of 2020, and we haven't heard anything about an album since. Nobody said anything to me yet. Everyone's pissed off about it. I'm upset about it. I mean, I just wish things were different. I'd like to see more underground K-pop artists kind of just posting videos, doing it themselves, and saying, you know what, screw you to these singing shows, screw you to these marketing, these companies and stuff like that, and just going out and doing it on their own. Because I feel like they'd be very surprised with how much success they can get from things that way, and then start to get offers from these companies, but you sign in your clause that like you want to have a little bit more artistic control and integrity. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. That's the way I see music shifting in America, at least. That's the way things are happening kind of around here, and the direction I'm seeing some of my friends' bands and artists that I've been a part of, like how they approach music in the music industry. But it also seems like in Korea, everything is given a numeric value. Everything has a number, a spot. It's on a chart. Everything, like the people are just very, very focused on that. Which is cool. I mean, it really breaks things down, and you can create some great charts that way. But it takes away from it. But maybe it's just a cultural thing. Maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe people aren't as upset about this thing as I am. They seem to be upset about other scandals. I'm upset about this weird facet about music. And I think it might just be a cultural thing that I don't understand, that I got to keep digging. I don't know. This leaves me with more questions than answers. But I guess I'll have to just keep on digging, and I'll have a video for you next week, see what I find. But guys, if you enjoyed your time with me today, please consider liking and subscribing. If you did not enjoy what I had to say, yeah, you can downvote it. That's fine. I don't care. But I'm going to catch you guys later. Have a fantastic night. Bye-bye.